the most weighted festival of the year. Those who are practicing the path of devotional service, they are always in their heart waiting for this day to come. Why? Because every devotee wants to receive the profuse mercy and blessings of Śrīmati Radharani. So, we will attempt to discuss the glories, the unlimited glories of Śrīmati Radharani, and to some extent try and understand who is Śrīmati Radharani. Oh, Rupa Padamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Śrī Rādhā Krishna Pada Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dīnabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine. Hare Krishna. Although we are all wanting, desiring, begging to have mercy of Śrīmati Radharani. Why? Because we all want to receive the mercy and blessings of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. And what we have so far understood or heard, or to some extent accepted, that Krishna's mercy cannot be received directly. We need to receive the mercy of someone who is connected to Krishna. And that connection is established with the mercy of Śrīmati Radharani. And if you analyze that Lord Krishna gives a higher position to Śrīmati Radharani as compared to his own position. How do we begin the process of bhakti? Through the chanting of the holy name. Etavan eva loke asmin. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the 6th canto, which is about Ajamil, there Yamaraj is telling his messengers, his followers, the Yamaduta, that the process of bhakti begins by Yam Nam Grahana Ādi-līlā, by accepting to chant the holy names of the Lord. The process of bhakti begins by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Of course, to be able to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one needs to have the association of devotees. So if you see Hare Krishna Mahamantra, iti shodashakam namna kali kalmash nashanam nato partaro upaye sarva vedeshu drishyate. That is, iti shodashakam namna. So there are 16 syllables in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And if you carefully examine, out of the 16 syllables, 8 syllables are addressing Srimati Radharani. Hare. You see the mantra? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So, Krishna is mentioned here 4 times. And Srimati Radharani in the form of Hare is also mentioned 4 times. And Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And again here, the syllable Ram is mentioned 4 times and Srimati Radharani is mentioned 4 times as Hare. So out of 16, 8 syllables are addressing Srimati Radharani. And before we address Krishna, we address Srimati Radharani as Hare. And before we address Lord Ram, or Ram, one who receives pleasure in the company of Srimati Radharani. So Krishna gives a higher position, an exalted position to Srimati Radharani. If you see all the deities, how do we call our beloved deities? Śrī Rādhā Aṣṭamī. Or for that matter, any deities. Śrī Rādhā Aṣṭamī. Or Śrī Rādhā Gopinath. Or Śrī Rādhā Govindadev. Or Śrī Rādhā Madanamon. Srimati Radharani takes a superior position as compared to Krishna's own position. And what is the position of Krishna? Krishna says, Matta Partaram Nanya Kinchidasti Dhananjaya. That there is no truth which is superior to me. But this is one truth, which Krishna lovingly, willingly agrees to grant to Srimati Radharani and takes a subordinate position. That is what we see in the glorious composition of Srila Jayadev Goswami. Jayadev Goswami was very much reluctant when he had this divine vision of Radha and Krishna having amorous sports. And what he saw, that Lord Krishna is bowing down to the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. Dehi pad pallavam udaram. Smaral garal khandanam. Mama shirshi vandanam. Dehi pad pallavam udaram. He was very reluctant that how the Lord of the universe, how Bhoktaram Yagatapasham can bow down to someone. So he was very reluctant. He was not willing and wanting to compose this. And as we all know, he went to take bath, and in disguise, Krishna himself appears as Jayadev Goswami. And he completes this composition, this beautiful composition. But although we have heard or we pray to Srimati Radharani, but still most of us do not know that who is Srimati Radharani. Why she has such a elevated position that Krishna gives a higher position to Srimati Radharani than her own position. And to be able to know that who is Srimati Radharani, because Srila Prabhupada says, we will read that verse from Caitanya-Caritāmṛta, that everyone is puzzled. Everyone is very much in a state of misinformation that who is Srimati Radharani. So this Radha Aṣṭamī, let us all pray sincerely to Srimati Radharani, Śrī Rādhā Aṣṭamī, Srila Prabhupada, that we get the right and the proper understanding of who is Srimati Radharani. What is her elevated position, her glorious position, so that we can willingly and lovingly serve her, and we can receive her mercy, and through her mercy we can receive the mercy of Lord Shri Krishna. So there is a very beautiful discourse, a very detailed discourse in Caitanya-Caritāmṛta. A part of it, just a fraction of it, this last Sunday I was able to share among some of the devotees in Dwarka. So that gave me an inspiration that this time in Rādhā Aṣṭamī, we will study this section of Caitanya-Caritāmṛta. And we will try to at least appreciate, if not able to properly understand, because that tattva is very, very confidential. To understand Krishna is so difficult. And to understand Krishna's Shakti is even more difficult. So, but with the blessings of the Acharyas from the Shastras, we'll try to at least appreciate what is the elevated position of Śrīmati Rādhā. So I will share from Caitanya-Caritāmṛta, chapter 4, which states the confidential reasons of the advent of Lord Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu. There are external, we have discussed that at least a couple of times before. What are the external reasons for appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Can someone share? What are the primary reasons or external reasons? Whenever the Lord appears, there are two reasons. One is the reason, or which is for the benefit of the entire world, for humanity at large. And the second is the personal reason or the confidential reason. Of course, we see in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna declares, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. But that our Acharya says is external. What are the external reasons? Yes, Ganesh Prabhu?
Prabhuji, Advaita Prabhuji's prayer, Prabhuji.
Yes, Advaita Acharya Prabhu's, call, his calling, his loud calling. And when the Lord was in his transcendental sleep, Yoga Nidra, that was broken. And he had to come, he had to appear. Yes, that was one reason. What are the other reasons? The three reasons. Yeah, please speak. We have discussed that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, we have discussed that.
Prabhuji, to establish Yuga Dharma, that Sankirtan.
Yes, to establish the Yuga Dharma of this age of Kali. Kali Kalera Yuga Dharma, Krishna Nama Sankirtana, Krishna Shakti Vina Nami Paravartana. To establish the Yuga Dharma, which is Nama Sankirtana. Okay, very good. Ganesh Prabhu remembers. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. To know the love of Radharani, how much Radharani loves him, for that he...
That is not external reason. That is the internal reason. Okay, we'll come to the internal reason. Śrī Rādhā Aṣṭamī. The first reason is to know the exalted. Okay, so we will, which gives a amazing understanding of who is Śrīmati Rādhā. Many years back, His Holiness Jadvet Swami Maharaj gave an article in Back to Godhead. Who is Śrīmati Rādhā? So our discussion for the next 3 days will be to understand that who is Śrīmati Radharani. Jayo Jayo Śrī Caitanya, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Can you see the text? There is little highlighting on this, which is not being removed. Can you see the text? Is it visible?
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji, it is visible.
Okay. Because the background is highlighted, somehow it is not getting normal. Okay. So Kaviraj Goswami gives a very deep explanation of what is the tattva of Śrīmati Radharani. We know the Jiva tattva, we are Jiva. But can we say that we understand who we are? Who am I? That the Jiva tattva is the spirit soul, beyond the body, beyond the mind, beyond the intelligence, beyond the falsehood. Then there is this Prakriti tattva or the Maya tattva. Maya bewilders every living entity. Is in complete bewilderment by the influence of the three modes. And beyond both the Jiva and the Maya tattva is the Ishwar tattva. The Supreme Lord. Hardly anyone knows Krishna. Krishna says, Manushyanam sahastreshu kaschid yadati siddhe yatatam api siddhanam kaschid mam veti tattvata. Rarely amongst millions of self-realized, one knows me. Amongst millions, there is one self-realized. And among the millions in self-realized, there is one who knows me. And then even beyond that tattva is the Radha tattva. And Kaviraj Goswami is explaining that who is Śrīmati Radharani. Very, very formidable verse. He says, Radha Krishna Eka Atma Dui Deha Dhari Anyo Anye Vilase Rasa Aswadane Kari. So the first statement is Radha Krishna Eka Atma. That Radha and Krishna are one and the same. If they are one and the same, then how they are in two forms? Dui Deha Dhari. They have assumed two bodies. And why this one is now manifesting as two? What is the purpose? What is the reason? Anya Anya Vilasa Rasa Aswadane Kari. Why they have appeared in two while this is one soul who is assuming two bodies? What is the purpose? That they enjoy each other. Vilasa Rasa. Aswadane Kari. Tasting the mellows of love. So this is the purpose that one has become two. Very important is they are one and the same. How they are one and the same, it will be explained by Śrīla Kaviraj Goswami in future verses. One second. This is better. The two transcendentalists, Radha and Krishna, are puzzled to the materialist. So Prabhupada begins to explain this oneness of both as they are both transcendentalist and they are puzzled to materialist. So those who are on the material platform, it is impossible to understand that who is Radha and who is Krishna. The above description of Radha and Krishna from the diary of Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami is a condensed explanation. But one needs great spiritual insight to understand the mystery of these two personalities. So Prabhupada is giving the qualification Prabhupada is setting the standard as to who can know about Srimati Radharani and Krishna. One who has spiritual insight, great spiritual insight. That means one who is sufficiently advanced in spiritual consciousness. Because they are very confidential. There is a great mystery to this. One is enjoying into. Anyo anye vilasaras, aswadane kari. Sri Krishna is the potent factor and Srimati Radharani is the internal potence. So the first understanding is that they are one, but simultaneously they are different. What is the oneness? That they are Eka Atma. And what is the difference? The difference is that one is potent and the other is the potency. Srimati Radharani is the potency and Krishna is the potent factor. According to Vedanta philosophy, there is no difference between the potent and the potency. So this is the reason of oneness. That the potent and the potency, Shakti and Shaktiman. Shakti, Shaktiman, Abheda. That there is no difference between the possessor of the energy and the energy. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives example of there is no difference between the energy and the energetic. Where is that example? Practically every day we recite that example. But what is that example? There's no difference between the potent and the potency. Just for our clearer and deeper understanding, to get a proper perspective. There is no difference between the potent, the energy, and the energetic. Where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains this concept of oneness. Yeah, please share. Practically every day we recite that. बोलिए. Simple. You just have to share them. I hope you have this clear conception. But there is no difference between the Shakti, which is the energy, and the Shaktiman, who is the possessor of the energy. Where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains this? Very simple. Very basic. Well, let's move forward. Yes, Ravindra Prabhu. My voice is reaching you?
Yes, Prabhuji. So the Supreme Lord and his the spiritual
Unmute and speak. Yeah, boli.
Prabhuji, the Supreme Lord and the spiritual master.
Supreme Lord and the spiritual master are the same tattva?
No, Prabhuji, one is the potency and one is the potent.
No, Mahaprabhu gives a very clear example of no difference between the potency and the potent. Shakti, Shaktiman, Abheda. Come on, please speak. प्रियंका और राधा जी, आप बताइए।
मुझे एक वर्ष है कि राधा पूर्ण शक्ति कृष्ण पूर्ण शक्तिमान दो वस्तु भेद नहीं शास्त्र में।
That is there, very good. But to be able to understand that, to be able to come to that understanding or acceptance, Mahaprabhu gives a very simple example. Yes, Ganesh Bro?
Prabhuji, that analogy, ocean and the drop of water, same quality.
Okay, but
It
we
has-
talk about potency and the potent. Mahaprabhu says, Nam Namakari Bahuda Nij Sarva Shakti Satrarpita Niyamita Smarane Nakalaya. So, Mahaprabhu says that what is the holy name? What is the holy name? Nam Namakari Bahuda Nij Sarva Shakti. Krishna's energy, his potency is invested in the holy name. And there is no difference between the Lord and his holy name. Yes or no? Have you not heard this? But the problem is we have not realized this. Abhinatvam nama namina. That there is no difference between the potency and the potent. So here, Kaviraj Goswami is explaining, actually Prabhupada is giving this purport, that there is no difference. As Priyanka and Radha Mata quoted, so it will come. Krishna Purna Shakti and Radha is, Radha Purna Shakti and Krishna is Purna Shakti Ma. Dui Vastu Bedanahi Shastrira Praman. So there is no bhed, because one is Shakti and the other is Shaktiman. So on that principle, we can understand that there is no difference. There is difference, but there is oneness. We cannot differentiate, they are identical. According to Vedanta philosophy, there is no difference between the potent and the potency, they are identical. We cannot differentiate between one and the other any more than we can separate fire from it. So this is a perfect example. Like when there is fire, there are two aspects of fire. What is there? There is heat and there is light. They are inseparable. If there is fire, there is bound to be heat and light. Fire cannot be separated from heat and light. So Prabhupada said that everything in the absolute is inconceivable in relative existence, because our material existence is relative existence. It is not on the, we are not on the absolute platform. Therefore, in relative cognizance, it is very difficult to assimilate this truth of oneness between the potent and the potency. So intellectually, or logically, we will not be able to get this conception or tattva. Prabhupada is very clearly saying that it is very difficult to assimilate this truth of oneness between total oneness and difference propounded by Lord Chaitanya is the only source of unless and until one comes on the transcendental platform, one is on the transcendental platform, he cannot understand the oneness of Radha and Krishna. Okay, so how to understand the oneness? Prabhupada further explains. He says, in fact, Radharani is the internal potency of Śrī Krishna. The first information that we got was that Radha Krishna Ekavastu Dui Dehata. They are one. And then what we understood that there is there, although there is oneness, but there is a difference. What is the difference? That one is potent, one is Shaktiman, and the other is Shakti. And now further details Prabhupada is giving that Radharani is the internal potency of Śrī Krishna. And she eternally intensifies the pleasure of Śrī Krishna. So Krishna has many Shaktis. What is the verse? Very famous verse. That Krishna has many potencies. Which verse is there? Prabhupada profusely quotes it. Yes, there should be. बोलिए.
विविधे श्रूयते प्रभुजी.
राष्ट्र शक्ति विविधे व श्रूयते. स्वभाव की गान में बला क्रिया च. So Krishna has multifarious potencies. So amongst the multifarious potencies, it is classified in three, chiefly in three groups. What are the three potencies? The first potency is the internal potency. This is called the Antaranga Shakti, internal potency, Antaranga Shakti, or the spiritual potency, or the internal potency, or the Swarupa Shakti. And the other is the external potency, or the Bahiranga Shakti, which is the illusionary potency or the bewildering potency, which is Maya. And between these two potencies is the third potency, which is the Jiva Shakti. The Jiva is either under the influence of Bahiranga Shakti or under Antaranga Shakti. So as we have understood that Srimati Radharani is the internal potency, the Antaranga Shakti. And what is her function? She eternally intensifies the pleasure of Śrī Krishna. So as the external potency has how many modes? It has three modes or three divisions. Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Similarly, the Antaranga Shakti also has three divisions. What are the three? As we understand that chiefly it is exhibited in the form of first as Sandhini Shakti. Sandhini means the existential potency. So what is the existential potency? That one is eternal. Eternal existence, spiritual existence. And that is represented by Lord Balaram. Sandhini Shakti. Existential potency. Which makes one to come to the platform of eternity. And its manifestation is in the form of Lord Balaram. Balaram is the superintendent of this internal potency, Sandhini Shakti. So this includes everything in the spiritual world. The spiritual world itself, Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita that Vartasmatu bhavanyat avyakto vyaktat sanatana. Anything which is sanatana, that is under the jurisdiction of the existential potency, which has eternal existence. So the dham, the abode of the Supreme Lord is Sanatan. Those who are residing there, those who are the dham, they are all Sanatan. And everything Krishna uses, everything which expands in the dham, to be employed in Krishna's service is also eternal. So that existential potency is represented by Lord Balaram. The second aspect of the internal potency is cognizance. Cognizance. It's called the Chit Shakti. First is called the Sandhini Shakti, and the other is called the Chitta Shakti. Here the Chit potency. It's called the cognizance or the knowledge potency. By the knowledge potency, the Supreme Lord comes to know about himself, what service it does. And the living entities comes to know about his relationship with the Supreme Lord. Eternal relationship with the Lord. So that is called the Chitta Shakti. And that is manifested or represented by the Supreme Lord Krishna himself. What is the example, the best example of cognitive potency? Can anyone give the example of cognitive potency? The Chitta Shakti. Yes, where should go?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam Prabhuji.
Yes, very good answer. Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. This transcendental literature which makes us come to know who we are and who the Supreme Lord is and what is our eternal relation with him. It establishes us to revive in our eternal relation. So that is the cognitive potency. And the third potency is the Ladhini Shakti. Or as Prabhupada is mentioning here, that she eternally intensifies the pleasure of Sri Krishna. That Shakti which eternally intensifies the pleasure of Sri Krishna, that is represented by Srimati Radha, Ladhini Shakti. That which brings joy to Krishna and joy to all the devotees of the Supreme Lord. That is called Ladhini Shakti. Like Lord Narasimha appears to give joy to Prahlad Maharaj. Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlad Ladhadai. So, the purpose and the reason of appearance of Lord Narasimha is only one. What is the purpose? Is to give joy to his pure devotee Prahlad. Nothing else. The secondary that he killed the demon Hiranyakashipu. So this potency is so very special that without this potency, Krishna, who is Ananda Vaisaha, who is the reservoir of all bliss and joy, he cannot experience any bliss or joy. So that potency which gives or which enables Krishna to experience that bliss, that incalculable condensed bliss and joy in his heart, that is Ladhini Shakti. Prabhupada says impersonalists cannot understand this without the help of a Mahabharata devotee. So it applies to us also. To the extent that we have not been able to establish in our constitutional position. One is impersonalist. So how to understand this position of Srimati Radharani? So Prabhupada says we need a help of Mahabhagavata. And who is that Mahabhagavata devotee? That is Srila Prabhupada. We are being helped by Srila Prabhupada to understand the tattva of Srimati Radharani. How? Through his Bhakti Vedanta purpose. The very name Radha suggests that Srimati Radharani is eternally the topmost mistress of the comforts of Sri Krishna. So this is another definition of the word Radha. That she is always representing the joy and pleasure of Sri Krishna. It is said that the word Ra represents Ras Mandala. And Dha represents Bhavamala. So, what is the greatest joy which Krishna receives is when he is in Rasa dance with the gopis, the topmost gopis, Srimati Radharani. And what is Srimati Radharani? She is always running to increase, or that means she is always very much attempting to increase the joy of Lord Shri Krishna. Bhavamana. We have heard that word in Yashoda Biyo Lukha Bhavamana. So Mother Yashoda is chasing Krishna, running very swiftly. So because Srimati Radharani in the spiritual world, she appears in the Rasa Mandala, and she was running to the Lord when she saw him very enthusiastic to enjoy. Her name is Radha. This is one of the explanation of the word Radha. The Prabhupada is saying here that she is the topmost mistress for the comforts of Sri Krishna. As such, she is the medium transmitting the living entities' service to Sri Krishna. So she has the topmost position to give joy or bliss to the Supreme Lord. So living entities, everyone, the jivas, how they can connect with Krishna is she is the medium transmitting the living entities' service to Krishna. Why? Because she is the topmost mistress of the comfort of Sri Krishna, means service to Sri Krishna. Devotees in Vrindavan therefore seek the mercy of Srimati Radharani in order to be recognized as the loving servitors of Sri Krishna. That is why when you go to Vrindavan, we hear nobody is saying Jai Shri Krishna. Everyone is saying Jai Jai Śrī Rādhā. Residents of Vrindavan means that they know one name of Srimati Radharani is she is Vrindavaneshwari. That she is the queen of Vrindavan. Vrindavan does not belong to Krishna. Vrindavan belongs to Srimati Radharani. Actually, Vrindavan belongs to Vrinda Devi. But Vrinda Devi has gifted as her service and her love towards Srimati Radharani that she has crowned Srimati Radharani as the queen of Vrindavan. So who are the residents of Vrindavan? Prabhupada explains many times. Who are the residents of Vrindavan? Prabhupada is saying devotees of Vrindavan or residents of Vrindavan therefore seek the mercy of Srimati Radharani to be recognized as loving servitors of Sri Krishna. Who are the devotees or residents of Vrindavan? Those who are living in Vrindavan. That is one level of understanding. But who are the eternal residents of Vrindavan? What it means to be be a devotee or resident of Vrindavan? Well, quickly, let's move forward. Let us at least complete this verse. Are you able to hear? Internet is little unstable. Prabhupada is saying that the residents of Vrindavan, they are always seeking mercy of Śrīmati Radharani. So who are the devotees or residents of Vrindavan? What it means to be a resident of Vrindavan? Boliye. Why I have to, ask so many times? Every day we sing Morai Abhilash, Vilas Kunj Diye Vas, Mayane Haive Sada, Jugal Ruparash, Tulasi Krishna Priyas. What it means? Unlike a parrot, we are just repeating. Well, speak. The time will be what I have to go for my service. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally approaches the fallen conditioned soul of the iron age to deliver the highest principle of transcendental relationships with the Lord. The activities of Lord Chaitanya are primarily in the role of pleasure-giving portions of his internal potency. The absolute personality of Godhead Shri Krishna is the omnipotent form of transcendental existence. That is Sandhini Shakti, knowledge, which is Chit Shakti, and bliss in full, which is Ladhani. His internal potency is exhibited first as Sat, which is eternal existence, or in other words, as the portion that expands the existence functions of the Lord. When the same potency displays full knowledge, it is called Chit or Samvit, which expands the transcendental form of the Lord finally. And when the same potency plays the pleasure-giving medium, it is known as Ladhani, on the transcendental blissful or the transcendental blissful. Thus, the Lord manifests his internal potency in three transcendental divisions: Sat, Chit, and Anand, Samvit, Sandhini, Samvit, and Ladhani. So please understand, please give more focus. Prabhupada is saying here that when the same potency displays full knowledge, it is called Chit or Samvit. And when the same potency plays as the pleasure-giving medium, it is known as Ladhani. Thus, the Lord manifests his internal potency in three transcendental divisions. Seidu Yeke Be Chaitanya Gosai Rasa Aswadite Dono Hoila Eke Thani. Now to enjoy rasa. What is rasa? Rasa is exchange. Exchange of love. So how that exchange is possible? When we say exchange, what it means exchange? What does the word exchange mean? Yeah, come again.
Two person.
Yes, two are required. Then only there can be exchange. Otherwise, there cannot be any exchange. So that is rasa aswadite. So exchange is not possible in one. There has to be more than one. So how to exchange that rasa? It requires relationship. In relationship means there has to be more than one person. So to taste that rasa, Krishna expands as two. It becomes manifest in the form of internal potency. They have appeared in one body as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they were one, there is only one, the Supreme Lord, and he became two to exchange rasa. But again, the two have assumed and come and combined in one. Radha Krishna, Śrī Krishna Caitanya, Radha Krishna nahi anya. That is Lord Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Kaviraj Goswami says, therefore I shall first delineate the position of Radha and Krishna. From that description, the glory of Lord Chaitanya will be known. So that tattva is even more confidential tattva of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he says, first understand the position of Radha and Krishna, then we can understand Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Radhika hoye na Krishna pranaya vikar swarup shakti ladhini namayar. Srimati Radharani is the transformation of Krishna's love. This is very, very important. Srimati Radharani is not different. What is the oneness? She is just the transformation of Krishna's love. And then again, Kaviraj Goswami is saying that she is the internal energy called Ladhini. And what is her purpose or her function or for her reason for existence? Ladhini Karai Krishna Ananda Swadane Ladhani Dwara Kare Bhatira Poshane. So that potency which is manifest in the form of Srimati Radharani, what it does, that Ladhani energy gives pleasure to Krishna. Ananda Swadane, that rasa, that exchange of mellows. That is to Krishna. And not only to Krishna, and nourishes the devotees of Krishna. Ladhani dwara kare bhaktera poshan. That she nourishes all the devotees. So the joy, the bliss, or the satisfaction that the devotee receives in his heart, in his devotional service, or in his devotional practice, that is the gift of Srimati Radha. Rajiv Goswami has elaborately discussed the Ladhani potency in his Priti Sandarbha. He said that the Vedas clearly says only devotional service can lead one to the personality of Godhead. And only devotional service can help a devotee meet the Supreme Lord face to face. Where it is said in the Vedas that only devotional service can lead one to the personality of Godhead. Only devotional service can help a devotee meet the Supreme Lord face to face. Where we have studied or understood this principle in the Vedas. What are the verses where it is quoted? We have already done Bhagavad Gita, full complete Bhagavad Gita. Bole, well, Krishna is mentioning this, or is declaring that he can only be known through devotional service. Pradeep Prabhu, what are the verses?
ಕ್ಷಿಪ್ರಂ ಭವತಿ ಧರ್ಮಾತ್ಮ.
Talking about knowing Krishna and seeing him face to face. Boli Manoram Prabhu. Very basic part of Bhagavad Gita. If you don't remember shloka, no problem. You give me reference where Krishna is quoting, or Krishna is declaring. Very emphatically, Krishna is declaring. Yes, Ganesh.
Prabhuji, Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. Verse, Prabhuji.
What is the word? Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paryupasate Tesham Nitya Yuktana Yogashemam Vahami. Krishna is saying, I protect that devotee. Yogashemam Vahami. I preserve what he has and I provide what he lacks. That assurance Krishna is giving here to his pure devotee, who is Ananyas Chintayanto, who is always constantly engaged in remembering Krishna. But here Prabhupada is stating that only devotional service can lead one to the personality of Godhead. Only devotional service can help a devotee meet the Supreme Lord face to face. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is attracted by devotional service, and as such, the ultimate supremacy of Vedic knowledge rests in knowing the science of the devotional service. What is that particular attraction that makes the Supreme Lord enthusiastic to accept devotional service? And what is the nature of such service? The Vedic scriptures inform us that Supreme Personality of Godhead, the absolute truth, is self-sufficient, and that Maya nations can never influence him at all. Therefore, the potency that overcomes the Supreme must be purely spiritual. Such a potency cannot be anything of the material manifestation. The bliss enjoyed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be of material composition like the impersonalist conception of bliss of Brahman. Devotional service is reciprocation between two, as we understood what is rasa, as Dayashil Prabhu was speaking. And therefore, it cannot be located simply within oneself. So two are required. Therefore, the bliss of self-realization Brahmanand cannot be equal to devotional service. So this is the superiority of devotional service. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has three kinds of internal potency that we have discussed, namely the Ladini Shakti or the pleasure potency, the Sandhini Shakti or the existential potency, and the Samvit Shakti or the cognitive potency. In the Vishnu Puran, the Lord is addressed as follows: O Lord, you are the support of everything. The three attributes, Ladini, Sandhini, and Samvit, exist in you. You are one spiritual energy, but the material modes which cause happiness, mystery, and mixtures of the two do not exist in you. And you have no material qualities. Ladini is the personal manifestation of the blissfulness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by which he enjoys pleasure. Because the pleasure potency is perpetually present in the Supreme Lord, the theory of the impersonality that the Lord appears in the material mode of goodness cannot be accepted. The impersonalist conclusion is against the Vedic version that the Lord possesses a transcendental pleasure potency. When the pleasure potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is exhibited by His grace in the person of a devotee, that manifestation is called love of God. Love of God is an epithet for the pleasure potency of the Lord. Are you able to be with me? Prabhupada is explaining the pleasure potency, how it works wonderfully, and how it gives joy to the devotee. I am reading again. When the pleasure potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is exhibited by His grace, by whose grace? By Krishna's grace. Where? In the person of a devotee. That manifestation is called love of God. Love of God is an epithet for the pleasure potency of the Lord. Therefore, devotional service reciprocated between the Lord and His devotee is an exhibition of the transcendental pleasure potency of the Lord. This is how it nourishes, Śrīmati Radharani nourishes each and every devotee. The potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that always enriches him with transcendental bliss is not material. But the Sankarites have accepted it as such because they are ignorant of the identity of the Supreme Lord and His pleasure potency. Though the ignorant persons cannot understand the distinction between impersonal spiritual bliss and the variegatedness of the spiritual pleasure potency. The Ladani potency gives the Lord all transcendental pleasure, and the Lord bestows such a potency upon His pure devotees. So the Lord also experiences the joy, and the devotee also experiences the joy by the medium of the Ladani Shakti, which is the representation of Śrīmati Rādhā Aṣṭamī. Okay, I'll stop here. I have to leave, which is quite a time. So we are discussing Tattva. Please try to put your heart to assimilate and accept. Understanding will be very difficult because this Tattva is beyond our reach. But to the extent we can appreciate and accept, the mercy will flow. Hare Krishna. If someone has any question or any clarification, please ask. We will continue tomorrow from the next verse, from the next prayer. Everything understood? Who is Śrīmati Radharani? Now we know who is Śrīmati Radharani. Why she has superior position than even Krishna. Because Krishna depends on her to experience that bliss. And every devotee is dependent on her. That is why the residents of Vrindavan are always seeking mercy of Śrīmati Radharani. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Śrī Prabhupada ki jai, Śrī Caitanya-Caritāmṛta ki jai. Krishna willing, tomorrow we will also resume. Tomorrow is Rādhā Aṣṭamī. So we have celebration in the temple. Everyone is welcome. Those who are in Delhi NCR. So try to please physically come. Abhishek will be from 10:30 a.m. So try to be in time and receive the full blessings of Śrīmati Radharani. And try to become a devotee of Vrindavan. Hare Krishna.